I've actually had to accept it. It is okay to hate. And you know what? I hate those stinky. It's time. It is time, Ethan. We are back. We are officially 100% back. The Are We Recording podcast is 100% back. And you know why?
It's Ethan, fucking football season.
Yes, it's fucking
you bitch
football
ass niggas.
season.
Clean me up. Come on.
Let's go, man. But this is the most exciting, the most electrifying time of the year. And you are listening to the Are We Recording podcast with the two coldest podcasters talking about the NFL on the platform. I got the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton, to my left or right. I don't know how he said
it. On the screen, it'll be left. I'm on
on my left. Okay.
Yeah.
And I am 007 Gage Sutton. I, as you can see, I'm a Packers fan. And the other guy next to me is a Cowboys fan.
Kansas City Chiefs fan in 2020.
That's why I put in quotations.
I'll be a Kansas City Chiefs fan this year.
Feeling pretty good after a win last night, huh?
No, I feel fantastic. For those who don't know, the NFL season just started back up again, and we get more NFL content on the podcast.
I'm way too excited about this. Let's be
no, you are. You like they're gonna look back in post and see my face. Like you scared the shit out of me when you started like growling the shit at the beginning. Scared just a little bit. But just make sure, guys, to follow, like, and subscribe on all of our socials here on the podcast. We really appreciate it. For those who are listening on our audio surround sound experience on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure to like and save the podcast. We really, really appreciate it. But let's get right into it, man. Football season is here.
And Ethan, hold on real quick before we get get into the football stuff. I want to give a quick just message to the people who are watching this and are like, man, I'm not really into the NFL. Don't worry. We've got stuff for you too. Stick around. We'll put the timestamps in the video. You can check out all the stuff that we talk about music, movies wise after. Football's not your thing. That's completely fine. You should still subscribe and like Ethan said. But with that being said, Ethan, this is what I live for. My seasonal depression officially ended last night when the Kansas City Chiefs played the Baltimore Ravens. I think it really started to go on the decline once I started drafting fantasy football teams. That's really when I was like, okay, football season is here. We got to start getting ready, man. We're putting money into this thing. It's an investment, not just for my time, but for my emotions, my mental state. Like, if the Packers don't win today, I'm going to be depressed the rest of the week. Let's be real here.
I feel you. I feel you. And I've had a rough week so far. That's why I'm just glad that this season I switched over to the Chiefs, because they're going to give me a lot more happy moments than what my Cowboys usually do. So for this season, I'm suspending my fandom of the Cowboys for a year. Yeah, man, because I feel like every single time I do a physical activity or physical sport that's not the gym, I come with the realization that I couldn't be a pro athlete, man. These physical demands. I'd be the pro athlete. Like I'm cut from the cloth of
wait, why do you say that? What happened?
So I went bowling this week, right? And a lot of people might not think that bowling requires such physical activity. Well, I'll break it to you. For me, bowling is a full body experience. Okay, I got to get in the zone. I have a routine that I got to get into, and I made the mistake of doing legs before going to go bowl, and now I'm on IR for the next 6 weeks with a pulled hamstring and a pulled calf because on my 7th or 8th frame. Everything went to shit. I felt my tightness on my hamstring when I went up because I guttered. I don't usually gutter, but when I did it, I felt something tightening. I said, oof. I felt it. I said, oof, that don't feel right. I know my body intimately. It's not supposed to go like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm in front of some girls. I can't be the guy that gets injured in front of the hoes. I can't be that guy, even though I am that guy. You see me. That is I'm the guy that gets hurt in front of the hoes.
Yeah, bro, I love the story so far. I'm hoping to hear the part where you run to the bathroom and you have to look yourself in the mirror and slap yourself in the face a little bit. It's like, come on, man, get yourself together and stop extra putting so much extra effort into it, man, because this is how you get hurt. For being a show off.
That's not how I got hurt. I got hurt because I was showing respect to the game of bowling. All right,
respect,
and my body just wasn't cooperating. I think the centrifugal force and the torque of the leg, it lifted up so much so that Kamala Harris, she came out, she started feeding me donuts, and with the donuts, I passed my history class. So that's usually that's really what happened.
I lost a point there, but you know what?
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You know what? I think the main point of this is that, you know, even though the week didn't start off great for you, it's going better now because you're now a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
I don't like. Let's get rid of it. First off, for those who aren't watching us on YouTube, Gage keeps going with quotations anytime he comes with mentions my Kansas City Chiefs. So we're gonna get rid of that first of all.
Okay, because if you are a longtime listener of the show, you know that Ethan's team is not the Kansas City Chiefs.
It is the Kansas City Chiefs.
As he wears a Texas Rangers shirt. Hey, you know what? We're not here to grill you, E. We're here to celebrate, man. We're here to like come together, man. This is what the show is all about. You know, it's about the good vibes. It's about bringing the people together. I think this is what football does, man. It does it better than anything else. And I want to start with the biggest game of the year so far. Internationally, I should say. The Green Bay Packers are playing the Philadelphia Eagles tonight in Brazil as we record this. When we upload this, it'll already be over. But I think I want to talk about this in a global aspect. There are a lot of players who were scared about going to Brazil. How do you feel about this? Because I mean, you know, your family comes from Argentina. My family comes from Mexico. They've done games internationally before, but a lot of the players were just like having a lot of skepticism about the situation. And I just think it comes from an informed place of just ignorance, I think. But what do you think?
I think American athletes are soft as fuck. Like we talk about this, man. Like I don't get why y'all so scared to go out of the country to play these games. You guys are scared of all these fans. I really don't get it. The only logical path I can see is y'all is Charmin soft 2-ply. Like because y'all complain about stuff places like Boston and Philly. Oh, those are tough crowds. Now we're gonna take y'all and show y'all some real tough crowds over here on this side. But I think it's a wonderful experience. Like obviously the NFL the past 10 years are trying to get a lot more global, right? They've had games in London, they've had games in Mexico City, and now they're doing Brazil. So I think it's dope. I think it's really dope. I know they had the rumors that like, oh, the Packers have just got to be careful because they can't wear certain colors. I think that's a lot of horse shit.
It's been blown out of proportion since that first came out, that it was like about gang violence. It had nothing to do with gangs. I think that was just like a very popular rumor that was going around. It had more to do with the rivalry of that stadium, that the opposing team or the rival team wore green. So they would split up the stadium so that they wouldn't sit next to each other and cause problems. That's the only reason.
That's how sports is in everywhere else in the world except for
literally
the US. Like only in US like sports do you have fans of rival teams or even like opposing teams sit next to each other. Usually it's split like a certain way or the other. Nonetheless, I think it's really dope that the NFL is going to South America and doing it in Brazil. It makes me think of what other cool places could be up on the horizon, because I would feel like having a game in Tokyo would be so fire. Would be so fire.
That would be really cool. I'm thinking the next place, they're probably going to do another European country. I have a feeling that they're going to go to Ireland next. I think college football was a huge success there, and the sport just seems to be growing a lot in that area. So I could definitely see something in Ireland. Maybe another European country.
Didn't they do
yeah, they did Germany last year in Munich. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Munich.
Because I think they're gonna. I want to see if they're gonna add a new sports team outside of the US. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they keep teasing it, but I wonder how the dynamics of the travel is gonna work, because it's different in basketball in the sense of Canada having a team in Toronto and the Raptors and having the NHL teams, because it's still on the same content, you know what? And the time difference isn't too crazy. I feel like once you start going to Europe and South America, it's when it starts to get a little, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've had a conversation about this before. I don't know if it was off podcast or on one of the shows, but I think they are quickly moving towards this. The goal of the NFL is to expand this game globally, nationally, to everyone. That's how you make more money. So I could definitely see them putting a team in London, Mexico City, all of these places where they're going and trying to gain this interest. But I think it just comes down to a matter of the technology. Once we can get logistically ways for players to get from London to the continental United States without like how long are flights from LA to London? That would be that's just it's an unfair advantage for the team that doesn't have to travel. So until they can figure that out,
But
I
ain't it
don't
the
think
same way when you got to travel from the? Isn't it an unfair advantage too when you got to travel from the West Coast to the East Coast?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, again, it's still like it's such a big difference when you're flying overseas too, because coast to coast is not a great flight. I can tell you from experience, the east to west coast is not fun. West, east coast, whatever. But going over a body of land into another country, it just there comes with a lot of other logistical problems that I think they're gonna find their way through, but it's gonna take a couple of years. I don't think this is something that's gonna happen before the year 2030. If I'm being,
I think it'll happen.
honest.
I think it'll happen before then. Because I
You
think
think
the
so?
way I see it is, yeah. Because honestly, a part of me thinks they're gonna get rid of that whole idea of having divisions and just do one big conference standings.
Mm.
Like get multiple international teams. Like I think they're gonna get a team in London, a team in Mexico City, and let's say, for example, a team in Canada. Do those three teams split them up how they may, and then by doing so, right, they will just get rid of divisions and conferences in general. And honestly, that is kind of lame because we do have some key divisional rivalries, like NFC North, for example. All those games are pretty big rivalries. NFC East, like
Yeah.
I'm with it, but at the same time, I can see how the game is evolving. So I can see them just transitioning away from that. Like, yeah, we'll still get the yearly Packers versus Bears game, Detroit and Bears game, or Cowboys Eagles, Cowboys Washington game, but we're not going to do this whole division thing. I can see them doing that.
See, I can't. I think the divisions are kind of there to stay. I think that's one of the big problems about the NBA, or one of the big gripes I've had about the NBA, is that the divisions don't mean shit in the NBA.
They don't.
It's literally
I think they should
they
get rid
literally
of them in
don't.
the NBA.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could win your division and it doesn't impact seeding. It doesn't do anything for you. So that's not the way I see it with the NFL. I think the division games hold a lot of weight. I think they're a lot of fun. But I'm with you that I do think they're going to expand. Again, I think it's going to be a little further down the line logistically. I just think there's a lot of problems. I also think that there needs to be a little more buy-in from the players, because just from this experience alone, hearing all the Eagles players talking about how they did not want to go to Brazil, and just talking about how, like, I don't know, just the idea of like, oh, this is such a dangerous place. Players don't want to play here. That's just not true. Like every other place in the world, there are places in Brazil that you don't want to go. You don't want to walk around with your phone out. Ethan, I know you've experienced this in Argentina, I'm sure, in Mexico. I don't walk around with my phone out in your hand because people could just snatch it out of your hands.
But that's
what they were telling the
States,
players. Yeah,
even in the States, the same thing. When you go to New York, when you go to LA, like you don't walk down the street with like your valuables like just in your hand. That's how you get got.
Literally. And I mean, shit, this literally just happened to Ricky Pearsall. He was in San Francisco of all places, and he got shot on he was trying to get robbed. He was wearing an expensive watch. Someone tried to rob him at gunpoint, and he fought him off. Got shot in the chest through his back. And I don't know if we did the dog of the week segment, Ricky Pearsall would be our guy.
Is it though? Like, I'm all for him. I'm happy he survived. Don't get me wrong, but at that point, bro, give the jewelry and shit up. That's why I'm all for athletes. All y'all should wear fake jewelry, fake hats, fake everything. We're fake everything. Because if they rob me for my fake pearl bracelet, here, take it. When you get home, you're gonna figure out that all this shit is fake.
Nah, see, I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, obviously, I'm glad he's all right. I'm glad he came out with his life, because getting shot usually doesn't end that way. So, but I was thinking the same thing of like, those are things that I don't want to say are avoidable because like you should just be able to wear whatever you want. But those are the things that you have to think about when you're famous, when you make a lot of money, when you are going to go out in public too with these things on your body, showing them off just out in public. It's just things you have to keep in mind. It's unfortunate part of life, but it's just the reality of the world we live in. And but I think this was really big for the 49ers because, like I said, Ricky Pearsall, a dog, surviving this gunshot wound is going to come out to 50 cents, many men. Not only that, but he got Trent Williams to come back to the 49ers just because he got shot.
Yeah, no, that was a weird like correlation. Like I'm with Trent. Like I mean, like I get it. Like, oh, you want to come back and support the team, but like I don't know. That was just a weird way of him saying like, yeah, I handle the contract stuff. Like the Ricky Pearsall shooting made me realize. Let me just put pen to paper. And so it also made me realize, not even realize, because I've been thought about this. People really don't understand how contracts work in sports.
Why do you say that?
Because hearing people talk about, for example, right, the whole Dak Prescott negotiation, they don't understand what leverage means. Like, cool, you might not think Dak Prescott can win a Super Bowl. Hell, you might not even think he's a good quarterback. But the facts are the facts. If Dak is one of the last quarterbacks to get paid or coming up, especially when all his peers have already gotten paid, you know what that means? That means the need for quarterback is very high. And the supply of them is very low. So that means whether you think Dak Prescott is good or not, he's going to get paid a lot of money. He's going to take somebody to the fucking cleaners. Will it be the Cowboys? Probably. But the point being is, as long as he has two suitors, then he has all the leverage in the world. And hearing people comment on Dak's negotiation, Trent Williams' negotiation, now Jamar Chase, it's like you guys just don't understand how this works.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny to hear about that stuff because, like, we live in the sports era of like these absurd takes and not really like understanding the situation that they're in. You know, I'm a big Cowboys hater, hate the Cowboys. But even I can sit here and tell you that Dak has all of the leverage in this situation. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles last year and still found a way to become the highest paid quarterback in all of football. And if you don't think that Dak Prescott is talking to his agent right now and he's telling him Kirk Cousins just got $40 million a year and just is coming off a torn Achilles, I could shit the bed this year and still make a smooth $30 million every year.
Look at Trevor Lawrence. Look what happened to Trevor Lawrence.
Literally, Jordan, and again, I love Jordan Love. He got a contract after half a season. Teams are desperate to find good quarterbacks. Dak, as much as I've been critical of him, and I don't think he's a elite tier quarterback, he's been very good. He
just came off the best season of his career. He's about to take somebody to the cleaners. Like,
and if it's not Dallas, it's gonna be someone. And that's the thing that like people don't understand is like they get caught up in all of the Dak hate, the Cowboy hate. Dak is gonna get paid, whether it's from the Cowboys or the Raiders or whoever the hell decides to pay up. Dak is gonna get his money the same way Jamar Chase is gonna get his money too. Which I mean, I don't know why people are
walk
at all. Are you kidding me? That would be like just complete disaster for the franchise if they let their first round pick, they use the top 5 pick on him and let Penei Sewell away from them to get Jamar Chase. And then if they let him walk, that's horrible. Like, you can't come back from that.
And then you get the argument of like, well, why would they pay that person? They're not going to win a Super Bowl anyway. When are people going to realize with a lot of these teams, it's steps to get a Super Bowl. It's not just fantasy. It's not just like franchise mode on Madden.
Yeah.
Like, you can pay a Kirk. There's a reason why the Vikings pay Kirk Cousins. There's a reason why the Atlanta paid Kirk Cousins. Atlanta knows they're not winning a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins, but for the next 3-4 years, Kirk Cousins sells tickets. Kirk Cousins makes them competent enough where they get butts in seats, where they get jerseys bought. And that's what's going to happen with Dak. Even if he leaves to Dallas and goes to Oakland, you think Dak with Oakland is going to win shit? No. But Dak's going to make them a competent team.
Sorry, Vegas.
Or Vegas. Vegas,
Yeah.
you know what
So
I mean?
I
That's
do
gonna
that
make
sometimes
Vegas,
too. Yeah.
that's gonna make the Raiders a competent team. That's gonna make the Giants a competent team. That's how this stuff works. That's how contracts works. Especially when you get paid 65, 70 M's, which he's probably gonna get paid. You think I give a fuck about a Super Bowl when I get paid more than half of like 50, 60 million dollars? Like, bro, these people don't get it, bro. Like, I'm on
Yeah.
this elitist type shit.
Well, before we shift the conversation to music a little bit, because there's some things that we'll get to. I want to shift the conversation to another sports segment or another sports conversation that kind of revolves around this of like critiquing someone who makes a lot of money. They're athletes, you know, and have the right to be critiqued by fans, I
Yeah, it
believe,
comes with
for their
it comes with
play.
the territory. If I make
Yeah, comes with the
hundreds of millions of
territory.
dollars, yeah.
But Ethan, what do you think about all of the recent criticism that has been coming towards Rudy Gobert lately? Because Shaq recently was on a podcast, and the podcast host asked him who the WOT was, the worst player of all time, and Shaq didn't hesitate, said Rudy Gobert right away. Yeah, I'm just interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, I want to split it up into two bits, right? The first bit I want to talk about just the Rudy Gobert discourse all
As a
over it.
whole,
Then I
yeah.
want to get as a whole. Then I want to get to what Shaq specifically said. So, because Shaq wasn't the only one, and we had Derek Lively on Theo Penson's podcast talk about how the Mavs is dogging out Rudy
I
Gobert in the
actually did
playoffs,
not see that one. I didn't
which
see
they
that
were.
one.
Yeah. It's basically saying similar things. And honestly, I'm kind of over it. Like, I'm all for hate. I'm a certified grade A hater. There's some players I hate, Chris Paul, but I'll do this. Like, I'm with all the hate. I'm with all the hate. But at a certain point, we gotta be like, all right, man. Like, let's find a new target. Let's find a new thing. Because at this point, like, what hasn't there been said about Rudy Gobert? Like, we get it. He has all these defensive players of the years, and he somehow, some way, he gets bounced in the playoffs and is always on the bench when doing so. Even though sometimes that's not really the case. Because with Minnesota, if they don't have him, he wasn't the reason why they lost to Dallas. It was fucking Cat. Cat was the biggest reason. But Cat won't ever get the same blame. So that's how it is. When you have he has 3 defensive player of the years, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. I think it was 2 in Utah, I believe. Yeah, that sounds right.
He just got this one. So I get why some
one.
people like have this animosity, but we're like 3-4 years now of this we hate Rudy Gobert stuff. Like, can we get over it already? Like,
Yeah,
it's just corny. Like, all right, let's talk about somebody else. Because Gobert don't be doing nothing, bro. He really don't be talking shit. He don't be doing nothing. And they just be on his ass. Draymond, Shaq, ever be on Gobert ass. Like, bro, let that motherfucker breathe. Like, Jesus.
Well, I think it's been a long discourse about Rudy Gobert because I feel like even back in his Utah days, people were critical of him. I think people were critical of him, but there was still a lot more respect given his way because he's a defensive player of the year. People like recognize all of the defensive stuff. I don't think that much has changed in his game. He's playing on a better team that plays better defense. That would be my only thing about like maybe he didn't deserve to win last year's defensive player. Actually, I'll stand on that. He did not deserve to win defensive player of the year last year. I think Victor Wembanyama should have. And that's not hate. I think Rudy Gobert still was a top 5 player in top 5 defensive player in the league. And there's no question about it. But where the discourse for me begins is I feel like Rudy Gobert really lost a lot of people when COVID happened, man. When the start of that happened, I feel like that's when a lot of people turned on him and kind of never really gave him any grace after that. I feel like that's kind of unfair because, I mean, no one really knew what the hell was going on with that. Was it irresponsible of him? Yes, absolutely. This is all way in the past. But like, I feel like that was just kind of the spark. And then everything kind of just started carrying on and snowballing, and people just started talking about him more off the court, started being more critical of him and his game. Because, I mean, we've known this for years. He's never been a great offensive player. You keep him on the court because he's there to block shots. He's there to help on pick and roll defense. Like, this is the stuff you want Gobert on the court for. You're not trying to put the ball in his hands with 2 minutes left when you need a bucket. But I don't know. I'm with you though. I think the discourse and the hate for him has just gone too far. I think he's a solid player. It's just really like they're doing too much against him at this point now, where it's just becoming unnecessary, in my opinion.
I'm with you. It's overkill. It's really overkill. And then moving towards Shaq. I mean, Shaq commenting about former players like the Sky Blue, like Shaq has made it very clear that he's very bitter towards current NBA players.
Absolutely,
I get it. Like Shaq, coming from the background that he comes from, like the military family background, Shaq is very like no excuses type of person. And so I could see it whenever he speaks about players like Rudy Gobert and Ben Simmons, because it's like I was the best player in the world and I was getting paid this amount of money, and you guys are getting paid triple that, and you guys aren't even on the court. Like, I get personally how he would feel about them, but I feel like he just needs to leave himself out of it on certain situations because he just comes across incredibly bitter.
Yeah, that's kind of,
man.
I think that's the interesting thing about Shaq is I feel like he's always had that kind of complex, or I guess since he became a analyst and was on TV, I feel like he has always had this complex of like, he doesn't really show any of these players respect until they kind of earn it from him. Like, first person I think of is Giannis, where like he didn't fuck with Giannis. He didn't think Giannis was good at all. And then Giannis started winning MVPs. Giannis started getting the Bucks to the playoffs, deep championship run, finally winning a championship for Milwaukee. And I think that's when we started kind of seeing Giannis enter Shaq's good graces. He started calling him Superman. And now Giannis is one of Shaq's favorite players. I don't think that's in Rudy Gobert's career trajectory or Ben Simmons.
I don't think so. I don't think so either.
But for a guy like Victor Wembanyama, I think, who like, obviously, I think Shaq was saying a lot of stuff about him last season, saying that he was just like Bol. I think that's just coming more from a place of, he wants to see Wemby prove himself before all of these people start talking about how he's the greatest of all time, and I'm guilty of it. But no, I'm with Shaq in that sense. But I agree with you that sometimes it's just better off to, stand back, not hate so hard. But I'm actually surprised you're on this, man. You are a elite top tier hater, so I thought you would be like on Shaq's.
Yeah, but I like hate. Like I said, there's certain players to hate. I think Gobert, there was a time to hate on Gobert and it was fun. Now it's kind of overkill because it's like, now
so who do we hate now?
Oh, new players I hate. Oof, that's a good one. CP3, I don't really have any more hate. I've kind of defeated that dragon. Honestly, I'm cooking up a mean Devin Booker one. For the past couple of years, I've been stewing on Devin Booker. Yeah, Devin Booker's what I've been hating on a lot.
Hey, Lamar Jackson in the NFL, you're hating on him hard as hell. Too.
No, I don't hate Lamar like that. I hate Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah,
but I think I got one. I think after this season, that dragon will be cut off.
Hey, maybe
last
tonight
year,
with Jordan Love. Maybe Jordan Love can take care of him.
Nah, Jordan Love ain't been there yet. Jordan Love, he coming though. Don't worry. He pause.
Okay.
But no, Jalen Hurts is definitely. Well, bro, I was cooking up. Be honest with me. The hate and black magic juju I put on Jalen Hurts last year, that was something special. That's some of my best work.
Bro, I don't know where you got that voodoo magic, but
always working like clockwork. First game of the season, he threw 4 picks. The Josh Allen one last year. Ooh, I was cooking something up crazy for Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts last year. This year, I haven't decided. I think I'm gonna stick on Brock. I think Brock Purdy, I'm moving on to in the NFL. But in NBA, it's really hard. I think Devin Booker for sure. Anthony Edwards, I'm getting close to. I haven't decided yet. I haven't picked my side on the fence. And maybe Vic in a couple of years. I haven't decided if I want to hate on him yet. Trae Young. Yeah, I've been on the Trae Young wave. So Trae Young and Devin Booker, those have been the two. Probably.
But then you love the weirdest players. Like, your favorite player is RJ Barrett. Like,
yeah, RJ Barrett. I won the war. That's because I fought the RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish allegation. I beat that one. By the skin of my teeth, I beat that one. You got any players that you hate that you run with?
Man, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I've actually had to accept it. It is okay to hate. And you know what? I hate those stinky Rockets in Houston, man. And it starts with the head of the table, Jalen Green, man. Why are we're getting tricked every offseason? Every Rockets fan is getting tricked every offseason. Jalen Green has been in the lab. He's been working. He's going to get – no. Let's be real here, guys. Jalen Green is a stink ball, and he's not going to do anything for the Houston Rockets.
Out. I love seeing hate and Gage. Let it out,
Thank
bro.
you.
It felt good, right? It felt good.
Actually, it's feeling really good, but knowing that we've got Rockets fans who watch this show, I'm starting to rethink my decision because my Twitter DMs are going to be blown up with death threats. But, I mean, that's just me. And you know what? To smooth out the hatred that I have in my heart for the Houston Rockets, I will say a nice thing about them. I do have a player that I love on their roster, and it's Alperen Şengün. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league, and I hate that we have to play against him. I think that's one of the things.
I don't like how you did that. I don't like you added the love into the hate. We need to keep the hate and the love separate.
Hey, you had to give RJ Barrett some love too, man.
I didn't bring up RJ Barrett though. That was
I brought him up, but yeah, I mean, hey, this podcast is more about love than it is hate.
Shit. I don't know if you've seen our feed recently.
Yeah, I know. People were, man.
But they've been on my fucking ass with the vinyl for vinyl. Call me an outfitter's vinyl. You bitch ass niggas. I got a better vinyl collection than all of fucking y'all. I'll cook y'all the fuck up. Like,
just
stop
wait,
fucking
man.
playing with me. Stop fucking playing with me.
Wait till they see mine too, man. Mine's coming soon. Just make sure you follow us on TikTok to stay updated with the vinyl for vinyls. Ethan posted 2 already. I'm coming with my first one here. Pause. But I think the great thing about the Vinyl for Vinyl series on TikTok is that it shows off our music expertise. And I think just our media expertise, because, you know, we're kind of like that at this.
Not kind of. We are like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, we are like that. And I'm not going to do that, but
bow.
But Ethan, it's time for our favorite segment of the show. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Put you on.
That was a good one.
I think that was
a good
first.
person.
Yeah. All right. So, E, do you want to start with music or movies first?
I want to start with music. I'll start with music.
All right.
So, the first choice I'm going to go with for my Put You On for the week, it's been a song that's been stuck in my head all week, and it's probably going to blow up on TikTok, but it's called FNF by Nipa. If you like, because there's this new wave of people our age making like their own renditions of R&B music from the 2000s. So it's very much 2000s feel, Nelly, Ashanti, Usher type feel from R&B, but it's very clearly from our age. So FNF by Nipa. If you're into like 2000s R&B, it's a very, very dope track.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I will just piggyback off that and go with a new album that just dropped last night. Rex Orange County dropped the Alexander Technique. I was a big fan of his last album, so I haven't listened to all of this one yet, but was pretty pleased with the couple of singles I heard on it, and just excited to hear what he's got in store for the full project. Have you had a chance to check any of it out? I know Jairus.
No, I heard there was a new Rex Orange County project, but I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm gonna tap in for sure because I really, really liked the last one.
Awesome. Do you have a show or a movie that you have been watching that you would like to put the people onto?
Come on, I'm gonna put you onto a real deal gem, right? It's called The Predestination with Ethan Hawke. Crazy mindfuck. Crazy. If you're into like those time paradox, I'm in the future, but I'm in the past type shit. The Predestination is one of them ones. Short movie. I think it's only like hour 20, maybe hour and a half. I think it's like only an hour 20. So it's a really short watch, but it's pretty dope. The twist at the end is like a legit like twist. Really fucking good. Predestination. If you ain't got some shit to watch and you're like, okay, let's watch this. A little mindful. You with the homies. You want to see some shit. The Predestination is a good favorite of mine.
Love it, man. I'm actually gonna put that on my list, movies to watch next, because me and Dylan, if you don't know my brother Dylan, big movie nerd, get into those movies a lot, and this one sounds like it's right up my alley, because all you said was like the time mindfuck shit, and I was like, I'm there. This is sounds like Inception, Tenet, any Christopher Nolan movie.
It's like that. It's not as good as those ones. Like I don't want to like gas it too much, but it's a pretty solid like mindfuck movie for sure.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna go on the more comedy side of stuff. I'm gonna go with the movie Horrible Bosses 2. I watched it with Dylan this weekend. Actually, we're just trying to find some funny movies because this weekend we're gonna watch The Boy and the Heron. But Horrible Bosses 2 with Jason Sudeikis, Charlie Day, and Jason Bateman. Very funny. Got a lot of great casts, and yeah, just an overall good time if you're into some raunchy, over the top comedy movie, because there aren't a lot of the good ones nowadays. So do yourself a favor and go back and watch an old one.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. But with that being said, man, unfortunately, we do have to take a little bit of a somber note on this podcast real quick after put you on. We want to do a quick tribute and in memoriam to the late Rich Homie Quan, who was announced dead yesterday. Just very sad, man. I really don't know what else to say. Yeah, I just saw the news yesterday. Wasn't even 40. Just really sad, man.
No, it was to hear. We're not going to specifically talk about the circumstances in which he passed. If you want to go do that on your own. Yeah, if you want to make
we're here to celebrate him.
Yeah, let's celebrate. Yeah. We want to do a quick mention for it because I mean, when we started listening to hip hop music, like a big part of it was Rich Homie Quan, Thug, like that era,
lifestyle,
2018, lifestyle flex type of way. Like that was our fucking shit. And with Thug being locked up, we were like, damn, like it kind of put shit into perspective. And then now having this news too, it was definitely the very not the best way I wanted to start my weekend. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, man. And it's just unfortunate that someone so young, someone so talented, someone so influential in this genre that we love so much is gone from us so early. And
then not even to get on some deeper shit, but just like having this shit really only happens with hip hop. It's kind of sad. It's really sad. It kind of puts shit into perspective. Not necessarily why we support it, but why is this a habit only in this community? You know what I mean? The community that we are part of, the community that we support. This
I mean,
and the other ones. And I can the rabbit hole can get deeper, but I'm not gonna get on that. That's so
yeah. And I mean, like, obviously it just becomes a conversation of like how can we be there for these people? Because you know, it's just people go and struggle through stuff, and I think the great thing about music as a whole, but I think hip hop in specific is hip hop has always done a really good job of connecting to me and just making me feel like an artist is speaking to me sometimes when I need to hear those words. And I think that like just the support system around it is really what this is about. I mean, Young Thug's in jail, but you saw all of the love that was coming in for Rich Homie Quan from the rest of the hip hop community. And I mean, I just wanted to send a message to all of hip hop and say, like, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we should be here for each other for. Like, life is not easy. We got all of these crazy things happening in our lives, man. We just gotta be there for each other. And when you see someone who's going through something, you just gotta do your best to try to help them out of that place, man. Sometimes there are people who are just like too far gone, you know, doing their thing, but shouldn't change the fact that, you know, you should still try to care for them and be there for them.
Absolutely. I feel that's a good note to end on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And
I don't mean to sound like an alt-right Republican when it comes to guns, but thoughts and prayers to Rich Homie Quan and his family.
Yeah,
I really hate when people say that, but in this case, I feel like it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's 100% right. But to lighten it up and end this on some interesting, spicy hip hop news, some messy hip hop news. We had ASAP Rocky drop a new track last night called Ruby Rosary. The track is produced by Alchemist. Not only is it produced by Alchemist, he's got a feature from the one and only J.Cole of Dreamville. So, Ethan, you listened to the track last night. You saw the snippets like come out a little bit during the day. You heard the whole track yesterday. I don't know about you, but every bar that I heard from ASAP Rocky was directed at Drake.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
like,
the thing I don't get is people getting on ASAP ass like, oh, Drake cooked you. What is ASAP Rocky supposed to do? He's supposed to keep dissing the fuck out of Drake. He should have been dissing Drake years ago. Because they've been talking to each other for a minute. Drake been taking slick shit about him and Rihanna for a minute. So if I'm ASAP, I don't give a fuck if you and Kendrick done doing it back and forth. I'm still gonna diss the fuck out of you. And I'm gonna try to sell records while I do it. Like, I have no problem with ASAP doing that. Like, what is ASAP supposed to do? You know, what is he supposed to do?
You know, I'm with you. And before we get like more into like the actual like beef behind this, like behind the actual music stuff, I want to talk about the actual track. What did you think of the track itself? Did you like the Alchemist production? How did you think ASAP sounded on it?
And J. Cole? I liked it a lot. This is my favorite out of all between this, Riot, and I think what is it, Taylor Swifta? It's my favorite track. Cole smoked his verse. I'm just excited for the ASAP project. I know he pushed it back towards the end of this year. That's pretty much all notes. I tried to stay away from singles too much. I just would rather just listen to the project when it's here, right in front of me.
Yeah, you know, I'm usually the same way. I don't like to listen to the singles, especially because I think I'll tell you the album that changed that for me was To Pimp a Butterfly and the single I with Kendrick Lamar, because when I came out, good song and everything, but just like wasn't really sure about like how it was gonna fit into the album. But within the context of the album, like once you hear it and listen to it within the context of the album, it's fucking perfect. I think obviously we won't get that deep with ASAP Rocky, but I saw the title of this track. I saw that J.Cole was featured on it and that it was an Alchemist production. I was like, okay, I have to tap in. Like, this isn't something I'm going to wait for the album for, because this seems like it's probably pretty pertinent to what's going on right now. So let me tune in, let me tap in, see what's going on. And I agree with you. From a music standpoint, very enjoyable. The Alchemist beat, Rocky and Cole both did their thing. And I'm ready to get into the messiness, though, because you already kind of already talked about.
Let's get into the mess.
You already kind of touched on it. Rocky dissing Drake the whole time on this track. But I think the kicker for me, and obviously you know this, for me as a Dreamville fan, seeing J. Cole on this song, I was like, yes, I love it. I love J. Cole. I'm ready to hear what he's got to say.
It's not a coincidence that J. Cole is on this song. Like,
I don't think so at all.
We don't have to play dumb either.
We don't have to sugarcoat this.
We could have talked about how maybe he was kind of set up when he was on Red Leather with Future and Metro, because even he came out and said, I got this. I put that verse before we even started doing this. But this one, nah, I don't think it's a coincidence that Cole is on this. Like, him and a spoiler alert, guys. Drake and J. Cole don't fuck with each other. Spoiler alert. Like, I didn't want to be the one to have to tell y'all this. I don't know if y'all not reading the tea leaves.
I think it should be clear that Drake doesn't fuck with J. Cole, because I think J. Cole is just living his life, bro. He didn't ask for any of this.
You gotta stop. You and J. Cole fans gotta stop using that line.
But what do you mean? He's just living his life. He's riding his bike in New York. He's
not this time.
Chilling, man. He did not want to pick sides when this all started. What are we doing here?
Okay, so maybe not when this started, but by the time this shit's done with, the side has been picked. Very much so. The side has been picked.
Hey, anyone but Drake, I guess, is what Cole's saying. And I don't blame him. I really don't, because I mean, the way Drake's trajectory is going right now.
But I'm not mad at Drake feeling that way about Cole when this all started.
Like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Them being clicked up and him not really standing with him, especially when it was like a 20v1. But now he's going.
I still think Drake's in the wrong.
Surely. Drake was never in the wrong. At least with him and Cole, I get how he feels that way with Cole. But even it goes back to the line of you did Cole foul, stop pretending. Or what was it? Nigga, you did Cole foul, stop pretending on Not Like Us. Like, there's something we don't know. Not that we don't know. There's something they haven't told us between Cole and Drake's relationship. That there isn't one. Like, they don't fuck with each other. They don't fuck with you. Like, because J. Cole smoked his verse, but the fact that he's on an ASAP Rocky song, and not even on some like grippy type shit, pause. Like, he's on like he's rapping his ass off on this verse.
On an Alchemist beat.
Bro, this fourth quarter is gonna be crazy. The big guns is really gonna they coming out. They are coming out. How'd you feel about the song?
I liked it, man. I liked the song. I liked some of the punchlines and clever wordplay that A$AP Rocky had for Drake. He said, I heard dog talking funny like it's Family Guy. You a dead man walking like you barely alive. Like, all right. I like what we're doing here. And then obviously, you know, J. Cole did his thing. I really don't have to say anything else. You know, anytime J. Cole gets on a track, besides Grippy, he's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I'm like taking away from this for J. Cole from all of this is like, fuck the rap beef stuff. Like, say what you want about how he handled everything with Drake. I don't think it changes the fact that he's still one of the best damn lyricists to ever grace a mic. And yeah, man, I've just, it's fun to see A$AP Rocky drop music again. He has me really excited to see this album too. And I don't know about you, but did you
I'm excited for the A$AP album.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did you hear like a little bit of, I don't want to say, is hunger the right word to say for A$AP Rocky? I think of like, or maybe just like he sounded a little more like this album is gonna hit. Like, he's coming with something. It sounds like he was really like into the music for this. Like,
I'm with
really
you. I think hunger is the right word, because I think the biggest critique with A$AP Rocky is he don't give a fuck about music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, he's very much in the fashion world, and especially the last 7 or 8 years, 6, 7 years, he really ain't give a fuck about music like that. And so to see him, especially the last year with the rollout of this project, him start to care. Music videos, you know, they're always going to be on point with A$AP, but just the rollout in general, I've liked it so far. Now, is it going to sell well commercially to what his goals are? I don't know, because you saw Big Sean's numbers were pretty low in comparison, like, because neither one of them are at their peak like they once were, and seeing how maybe A$AP is going to do this coming off the whole Drake beef, as well as he hasn't dropped a project in 6, 7 years. Like, and not that like people don't care, but like, do the masses really give a fuck that much about A$AP Rocky's music like that anymore? I don't know. I care about A$AP Rocky music, but as far as the masses, who knows? Because I mean, his style has been bitten and split into 30 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, we can get the A$AP experience a little bit from Travis Scott. We can get the A$AP experience a little bit from Ye now. We can get the A$AP experience from Playboi Carti, Lil Yachty. Like, we can get from all these different people bits and pieces of him. Pause. But at the same time, we'll see if it works out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the direction he goes for this, because I mean, testing was very out there for him. I think a lot of people like commercially didn't fuck with it as much. But yeah, just interested to see what step that Rocky's going to go in with this one, and see if he's got anything else to say. But anything else you want to talk about here on this before we close it out?
Nah, man, I just really need to get back to nursing this hamstring and calf injury to see me back on the lanes very soon, because I will be fucking back. Don't get shit twisted.
So not IR, just day to day.
Well, IR for sure, but
you're on IR. We're
like
designated to return though, right? DTR.
Yeah. DTR.
Okay.
DTR.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna come
designated to return. Hey, I might take that and be like,
DTR.
Dude, like in rap report, yeah.
that might be the title of the fucking. That's the title of this episode, DTR. But thank you guys for listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Make sure to click on all of our links below. This has been our recording, man. You already know who it is. The two coldest co-hosts in co-host history. Your boy Ethan Hamilton. My partner in crime, Mr. Gage Sutton 007.
Go Pack,
is he
go.
white? Is he Mexican?
We'll
find out next episode. We'll find out next episode, maybe. Question mark.
Maybe.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch y'all later.
Peace.